Greetings and welcome to another episode of Making Champions by Transcending Matters with myself, Tarun Haridas, who will be your host for this series. Now, this series is getting well rich with insights about your whole essence of being, and Making Champions is about becoming a champion for yourself. So hit that like and subscribe button to stay tuned for further updates. Also, there is a link in the description to join the Making Champions list. And without further ado, let's jump into today's topic. Now, today I want to step back a bit and cover a little bit more on courage before I step into heart. This is ever so important. The last time we spoke on courage, it was very much on a sentimental, emotional aspect, very much on a psychological space. And what I want to do is really look at a more unified process of looking at courage from a physiological and physical aspect as well. So we can tie up the whole understanding of what is actually happening in that space of what we call transformation, transcendence. We're going to bring it into a neurobiological understanding, a scientific understanding, a relative understanding. So the conversation won't be as sensitive per se as the last one, but there's a lot of insight plus interactive moments to look forward to, so we can actually get into the nuts and bolts of what the understanding of the whole process. Now, on the last video, after I was coming to the end of the video, I made a slip up in my dialogue, and my brain was, when you're really deep into conversation and you're reaching out, tiredness and fatigue is setting in. What actually happened is that I said, talking about the framework of expansion from an epistemological space to an ontological space. And the word ontological is actually wrong. It's actually ontological. Ontological is the study of ants, and ontological is coming into existence. And so, little error there, but it's really important to understand these two words. I know they are very, big words. Like, can we break them down so we can understand? So, epistemological could be understood as being in a framework of trying to understand what's going on. You're going through, you're sifting through knowledge, you're trying to work out what's appropriate for you. You're in a discombobulated space of the learner autonomy is functioning and trying to bring things into common sense for you to act. Ontological is when it comes into being. You've now processed the knowledge. It's like taking something from a space of incoherence, or there's a phrase that's used in NLP a lot, dig into my memory bank. Unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence. These stages are considered epistemological. When you realize that you are incompetent at something, but you are trying to become competent at it. And when you step over into conscious competence and manage to transcend to unconscious competence, now you're ontologically expressing that knowledge. You're now coming to being. So that's the process. And we're that's the textbook definition. What we want to do now is get into the meat and bones, put some flesh onto the understanding so we can really digest the process properly. So looking at the reason as to why this whole sequence works in process of understanding, also the formation of the acronyms for the word champion, there's a flow, there's an exact sequence. The download, it's definitely a channeled download that's beyond my comprehension to understand how it came out so exact. But the idea how courage sits first as a raw energy that needs to be then transformed to heart space, and then from heart space to be amplified into a higher aptitude of being. So your practice becomes precision to aid your process of intention and being operational. And as long as you're making this non-negotiable, you're being a champion for yourself. So, step back. Let's look at this courage process. Let's really step back and really digest what we are talking about. So, in the last episode, we spoke about how raw the energy of courage is. When courage actually kicks in and comes into play, it's not a nice feeling. It's a very lonely place. We're not talking about the courage to enter a race or prove to be heroic. We're talking about a time when you're forced to change, maybe. You're forced to address a situation that is very uneasy. Your nervous system has got the grip of you. It's almost like you're on a tightrope. You've got nowhere to go forward because you don't know how to go forward. You can't go backwards. You're alone. You've got no support system, but you know you have to move forward without anger. Now you're being courageous. It doesn't mean you're being strong. You're being courageous. This courage is the ownership of the energy. And taking it away from the mind and bringing it away from emotions and processing it intellectually. That all sounds fine and hunky-dory. Let's really break it down. Let's create a scenario. Let's bring some interactivity into this. What I want you to do is first think of something that is really distressing to you. Think of something that is really a problem area in your life. Think of something that creates tensity. Think of something that is negative. Think of something that is disappointing. Think of something that really bothers you, where you're stuck for making a decision. Think of some bad experiences that's created trauma in your being. Think of everything that keeps you away from your joy. And I want you to just focus on where that feeling is amplifying in your being. Focus on your physiology. Focus on where does stress show up in your body first. Where's your first point of signal that says, okay, I'm stressed? Where do you feel it? Many might say that they feel it in the mind. This is a psychological feeling. What I want you to target is where are the thoughts resonating most physiologically in your body. Oh, I've got to pay the bills. Oh, I've just had some bad news. Another death. Another shock. Someone's treated you bad. You just realized a friend is a foe. Where are these feelings showing up? Okay, now take a deep breath and exhale. Another deep breath in and exhale. One more final deep breath in and exhale. Now, if you realize maybe you weren't paying attention so much, but in the taking of the deep breaths, you probably realized that you're now bringing back some elasticity to the area around your solar plexus. The solar plexus is a very serious energy point within your being. The solar plexus is so overlooked on an unconscious level that we only check in when there's feelings of inappropriations. It's like, oh, nerves, oh. Now, the culture is so bad is that most people, even when they're walking, they don't realize that they're crouching forward. You know, depression will have you leaning forward. Your posture isn't upright. This leaning forward is actually an unconscious process to protect the soft part of your stomach around the solar plexus, because you're afraid of getting winded by experiences in life. So you end up walking forward and leaning forward, crouching forward, shrinking this whole area unconsciously to try and protect it emotionally, intellectually, and egotistically. In Sanskrit, the solar plexus is known as the Manipura chakra, or more appropriately described as the jewel center of being, the jewel city. We're not going to go too deep down into the Sanskrit aspect, but just to give you an insight of how it is viewed, it is understood as the jewel of the city, because this is where all experiences are relished first. All information from all the senses, everything from, there's a beautiful story in Srimad Bhagavatam that speaks of the city of 9 gates, which relates to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2 eyes, 2 nose, mouth, 2 ears, and your 2 other holes downstairs. One for reproduction, procreation, and the one for excretion. Now these 9 holes in the body gather information to bring information to the 9s. These 9 holes brings information to the city, the jewel city within, and is processed there first. The other one that is also extremely important is the skin, tactile skin. But really what's important is the information that is coming through the senses. You taste something nice. You taste something bitter. You see something pleasant. You see something horrid. So someone says something lovely to you. Something sounds bitter. And these are all triggered by what's going on in the solar plexus. It's a big computer dashboard. It's a big information processing center. There's something more subtle that is going on with the thyroid gland, or the interpretation of non-biological energy to biological structured energy, which the throat chakra deals with, but that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about the physiological aspect of energy when it comes directly that you can now notice within your being. There are things that happen in the heart space, which we'll tap into later, that happens because of the sensitivity of the heart. It then informs the brain what to think. So the heart is thinking much more in depth and richer about your day-to-day moment experiences. And along with the gut, along with the solar plexus, which is the station for gut instinct. And if the communication between heart and gut is out of sync, what's going to reach to the brain is going to be way out, much less the higher aspects of brain functionality. So let's step it right back and look at this solar plexus, this city of information. The solar plexus, the physical aspects, the physical sensations that people are used to, butterflies in the stomach. This is when you're getting that sensation of tickling and sensation of fluctuations. It could be through excitement or through fear. You could get clammed. It's sensitive to create that butterfly feeling. Butterflies. The next one is tightening or knotting up in stress, in situations. The next one is how it regulates your digestive system. The solar plexus. What you have to understand about the solar, let me just bring it a little bit further back so you can understand how much influence you have over this. The first thing about the solar plexus system is that it needs to be understood as your autonomic nerve hub. Your autonomic nerve hub. What does that mean? Autonomic, it means self-governing or involuntary. When we relate to the word involuntary, we normally think of muscle spasms or something going wrong in the system, like, oh, I can't control my legs shaking. No, involuntary goes all the way down to your heart rate, blood pressure, body temperature, regulation of your body temperature. All of these things are governed by the solar plexus. Parasympathetic and sympathetic nerve systems. There's thousands of them that lead and run through the solar plexus. Remember, you've got 72,000 nerves in your body. And that sensitivity of them is registered in the solar plexus. So that's sometimes when that level of sensitivity gets so strong, you get this kind of feeling of a sudden drop or sinking feeling within you, like your life just drop out right there. So that tensity of feeling can happen. That is affecting everything. That's shutting down communication between gut and brain. That's shutting down digestive system operations. That's shutting down, again, it's bringing that clamping in, that you're covering the stomach so you can protect that space. The more you can. It's also the thing that's responsible for your warmth and radiance of being. The solar plexus, regulated through breath, through hydration, and through thought. You'd be so shocked to understand how these three simple things affect the functionality or dysfunctionality of the solar plexus. The solar plexus in Sanskrit is known as the seat of Agni, fire, the spark of life, where life is engaged or infused to then act in alignment with what is considered in Sanskrit Satchitananda, bliss, truth, and the right to exist. This all first represents itself in a steady poise of the solar plexus. And to hold this steady poise of the solar plexus is where courage comes in. It's to go against the knotting up. It's to go against the nausea feeling that the solar plexus can, it can actually create a nausea, like you want to throw up, just through emotions, just through stimuli of, it's got nothing to do with what you put in your mouth. Just watching something could make you feel sick. Just hearing something, just processing something in your mind. Again, this is all happening in the solar plexus. The other thing that causes breathlessness, the first thing that causes breathlessness is actually in the solar plexus, not the lungs. The solar plexus actually regulates the functionality of the lungs and the breathing. Involuntary, self-governing according to the state of how you are. And if you don't breathe, you can't self-govern from a conscious point of view. If your breathing is shallow when the solar plexus is in mayhem mode, it then scrambles for operation from the nervous system, which is now screaming alarm, and survival mode, which is now going to tell it to do the most minimum just to get through the moment of turmoil. Now in NLP there's a saying, how you do anything is how you do everything. And you can witness this where people might have a very traumatic experience, and the more that they dwell on the trauma, everything becomes traumatic, everything becomes frightening. A simple, oh my God, you startled me so much. They become very sensitive to anything, and they're easily triggered. The worst case scenario is it has such a shocking effect on the whole system that you actually don't want to remember anything, you actually don't want to do anything, you don't want to partake, you don't want to process, and you slowly edge your way into a Parkinson's type state of being. This could happen through trauma and negating a process of handling that trauma, getting stuck in a framework, an energetic framework where the nervous system is just got grip with you and you're not doing anything conscientiously to process and bring yourself to another space. So overall, what we're describing and what we should look at now is the biological functions of the solar plexus, so we can really understand what is biologically happening. First of all, to understand, it's the adrenaline center. It's the adrenaline center that creates that fight or flight response when you get triggered. It diverts blood away from digestion and toward the muscles. When you get that freeze up, it gets stuck. When you're in that stuck space, your digestive system has shut down. When you're doing this, the tensity thing, your digestive system has just shut down. Heart rate shoots up. The regulation of the heart rate shoots up because there's so much energy put into this expression of being, that tightness of being when you're in fight or flight. The biological chemistry that's going on in your body, it's almost like poison is now starting to produce. There was this video I once watched. It's a good thing I'm a vegetarian. There was a video that I once watched about animals being slaughtered and the difference between halal killing and normal butchery. Not that I approve any of them, but apparently the science behind it is that when the animal doesn't know that it's being slaughtered, it doesn't tense up and produce this chemical that is actually poisonous for digestion and stiffens up the muscle and changes the blood and so forth. Whereas when the animal is slaughtered in peace, the muscles are tender and so forth and all of this stuff, and it's much more easier and better for digestion and so forth. Now that's just in the animal world at the point of death, where you can see there's a rapid change in the chemistry of the animal at the point of death. What we need to look at is the chemistry that we're creating for ourselves when we're walking around daily, because it's all being contained within our body. It's all aiding the functionality of our body, the functionality of how digestion happens, or the lack of it, the buildup of poison, the operations of the adrenal glands that sit behind the solar plexus muscles. They're literally on top of each other. So, and they relate the relativity of information that's passing from the adrenal glands to the solar plexus. Again, when you look at the idea of posture collapse, that process of posture collapsing, again, is protecting the area. This is all happening involuntary. It's that embracement of that ugly feeling coming into life. And this is where courage now comes in, to be able to take that breath, take that, transform it up to the heart and bring it to another level of coherence. It's not about trying to escape from the energy, because you cannot destroy energy. Energy has to transform or transmute itself. So if you don't transform the energy, the transmutation of the energy comes out as outburst, anger, frustration. It's got to play itself out. Similarly, like a dog might be a bad comparison, but just to understand the instinct of a dog and why you have to train dogs and you have to take the dogs out daily and give them walks, because they're so much full of energy. And the instinct of a dog, if they see something running away from them, the instinct with them says, from millions of years, I have to bite. It's programmed that way, especially with breeds that are of that nature, like pit bulls and so forth. And the reason why you see them training with tires and so forth like that, because this is the only way that they know how to get rid of a certain energy that's within their body. They have to bite it out and get it out. And now you can see, after they've bitten it out, they're much more relaxed, they're much more calm, they're much more friendly, they're much more. But they have to get rid of that energy. They just can't sit there with the energy, otherwise they will snap and kill someone. So in this way, looking at that extreme example, we can modulate, assimilate, and see how does that fit into how do we process energy within our being, and how does this nerve hub become corrupt through lack of courage. And the fear of engaging courage because there's no support for courage. And if there's no support for courage, there's no way to actually bring it up to heart, because bringing it up to heart without the support and the know-how distorts the information or the resonance of the heart. So this is why people are afraid to live in heart space. They normally prefer to be bitter. They prefer to be avoidance of anything to do with the energy of love, life's optimum vibratory energy, the opening and receivership of emotional charges. Everyone's running around on intellectual stimuli. And that intellectual stimuli is getting processed and expressing itself through bad emotions. And so because of this vicious cycle, no one trusts emotional stimuli because they can't even control their emotions for themselves because of the lack of courage. Can you see the link? Because of the lack of courage and the idea of wanting to protect the heart and the identity that comes with being, oh, I am my intelligence. Now, when you're saying, when you're not in a courageous space and you're quote unquote, and don't take this too much in the wrong way, when you are egotistically defending your identity, you are unconsciously protecting a nervous system that is on lock. When you're protecting your identity, you're protecting the nervousness of your nervous system. You're not protecting your courage. You're not grooming your courage. You're not grooming your growth. You're protecting the sensitivity of your nervous system and the fear of being courageous. The process of being courageous is to take that energy and bring it to the heart to change the configuration of the energy, to change it to expansion and openness, change the feeling of the aching, the heart aching, the heartbreak. The heart within itself is so sensitive in the how do you call it? The magnetic field, the electromagnetic field of the heart. This is a scientific fact. The electromagnetic field of the heart is 1,000 times more sensitive and broader than the brain. Is the most powerful electromagnetic signature of your being that could be detected far away from your physical self. It's so sensitive that it can actually pick up the state of other hearts. This is why you can sense if somebody's troubled or if somebody's calm and relaxing. It's almost like you can sense their heart rate and their flow of being because of that energy information that's been transferred on an electromagnetic level. And it plays out, again, involuntary. Sometimes there's a saying in Jamaica, dopping off, if you're frightened. You have someone carrying on a certain way, and as soon as somebody turns up, They may not even be physically in front of them. Worse off, if they see them in the range, their behavior automatically changes. Literally, the whole shift within a split second. The solar plexus shifts, the dynamics of operations in the heart space shifts, a new behavior comes into place straight away, completely involuntary. It might be someone of authoritarian position. It could be somebody of joy. You might be just so happy to see this person. The butterflies come, the whole thing, just in a split second, everything changes. Changes your whole demeanor, changes your whole rhythm of being. You didn't consciously say, oh, there's that person, let me now act like that. It was a trigger response that happened in the electromagnetic field. Somebody may have hurt you. The heart remembers. The heart remembers more than you remember. The heart might pick up the frequency of another heart that it remembers hurting, being hurt by that heart before you even see the face. And the heart will register that frequency and bring the thought to you, bring the feeling to you. Oh God, why do I feel so bad? And as you look, oh my gosh, this overcoming feeling because of what the heart has remembered. This is how sensitive the heart is. And again, as soon as that information comes into the heart, it sends it straight to the solar plexus to say, what do you make of this? So that solar plexus space is where you become conscious of whatever's happening in your whole entire being, because now it's the duty of the solar plexus to make you aware of what you wasn't aware before. So let's bring another experiment into this so we can actually understand how this whole thing plays out in real time. And we can understand the physiology, the physicality, and the process of interjection that we can bring in to actually break the pattern that's happening, that we can sense within our being. So let's go back to processing in our being some negative information. Just start to think of things that really bring about that sensation of fluttering in the solar plexus area. Now do it deliberately. Think of something that's horrific. We're going to really push this out. Think of something really demanding of your energy on your solar plexus. Maybe it's something in your social setting. Maybe it's something in your work setting. Maybe it's something in your peer pressure setting. Maybe it's something in the family dynamics. Maybe it's something that you are personally thinking of about yourself in terms of your own evolution. Maybe it's something about, especially that one where you don't find it that easy to think good about yourself. You don't think that you're deserving of anything, of much. And I want you to just really focus on highlighting that process of thought and allowing it to register in your solar plexus. And what I want us to do now is take our hand on the solar plexus and put it on our solar plexus. Let me sit back a bit so you can see my hand. And I want you to breathe into the solar plexus and say to yourself as you're breathing in, this is where I feel my troubles. Breathe in and exhale. consciously commit to saying on when you're breathing in, this is where I feel my anxiety and stress. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in now and say, this is where I recognize where life hurts. Breathe in and breathe out. Now say, this is where the rawness of raw energy takes birth. Breathe in This is the rawness, this is the place where the rawness of raw energy takes birth. Breathe it in, breathe in, and exhale. Say to yourself, this is where the energy of anger takes birth. Breathe in, and exhale. Say to yourself, this is where the energy of bitterness takes birth. Breathe in and exhale. Say to yourself, this is where the energy of disappointment takes birth. Breathe in and exhale. Now I want you to say to yourself, this is where raw potential takes birth. Breathe in and exhale. Say to yourself, this is where courage takes birth. Breathe in and exhale. Say to yourself, this is where the fire of willpower takes birth. Breathe in. Exhale. Say to yourself, this is where the power of transformation takes birth. Breathe in. Exhale. Say to yourself, this is where the process of manifestation takes birth. Breathe in. Exhale. Say to yourself, this is where the phoenix within takes birth. Breathe in and exhale. Beautiful. Now I want you to take your hand and place it on your heart. And now I want you to breathe in and I want you to say, this is where I truly reside. Breathe in. Into the heart and exhale. This is, say to yourself, this is where consciousness calls home. Breathe in. Exhale. Say to yourself, this is where I consciously transform raw energy. Breathe in. Exhale. Say to yourself, this is where I consciously choose love. Breathe in. Exhale. To really define that, say to yourself, this is where I consciously choose life's optimum vibrating energy. Breathe in. Exhale. Say to yourself, this is where all power resides to transform all energies. This is where all power resides to transform all energies. Breathe in. Exhale. Say to yourself, all energies in this space must transform to bliss. All energies in this space must transform to bliss. Breathe in. Exhale. Say to yourself, I am grateful that I live within my heart. Breathe in. Exhale. Say to yourself, I am grateful that I can choose to be coherent in my heart. I am grateful that I can choose to be coherent in my heart. Breathe in. Say to yourself, I am grateful to be truly me that resides within the heart. I am grateful to be truly me that resides in the heart. Breathe in. Exhale. Now we're going to amplify that feeling of gratitude, and I want you to just concentrate on things that you are actually grateful for. Whether it's someone who's shown you love, someone who's been charitable, for sitting down, for the ability to be alive, to sense love. The heart, again, is a powerful place where chemistry happens, that love feeling that floods the whole sense of being. That happens through self-compassion and gratitude, a direct, symbiotic, synergetic expression that the body actually brings itself through to regulate the vagus nerve, the heart rate, the breathing, all by concentrating on the appreciating self. Concentrating on appreciating being self that is true in the heart and that is here to witness life from an optimistic point of view, aligned with Satchitananda, bliss, truth, and the right to exist. So breathe in and just contemplate being grateful for all the experiences that you can gather. Now, sometimes you might have a problem, think, well, I ain't got nothing to be grateful for. Search your mind, search your heart. Even if it was something 10 years ago, even if it's for something that you learned, search for that feeling of gratitude and finally amplify it, that you are grateful to experience it and you are grateful to be you and you are grateful to have a loving feeling towards gratitude. And we're just going to breathe in deeply with our hands on our chest, focusing on that. We're going to do that for a couple breaths, yeah? And we'll begin. Breathe in with gratitude. Focus, think, claim, feel. Breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in with gratitude. Exhale. Say to yourself in silence, you are grateful for being you. Breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in, concentrating on the gratitude of the love being able to produce a loving feeling with no other interjection but just you being you. Breathe in. Say to yourself, you are grateful to understand that you can love yourself. You are grateful to understand that you are allowed to love yourself. Breathe it in. And one more deep breath. And exhale. Now through that exercise, if you was really sincere to that exercise, you would have felt the whole shift of energy within your being. You would have felt the whole releasing of the tightness around the solar plexus and the solar plexus regulating itself. You would have felt a new resonance. It may have caused goose pimples. It would have changed the dynamics of how your skin is behaving to the outside environment. Your blood pressure would have regulated. A sense of being, a sense of calm, a sense of not doing, not processing, but dynamic stillness. Enriched with a feeling of joy, secret, silent joy, and a right to be in that space. Now you are in full coherence energetically with your body. You're in full coherence with the higher operations of the mind or the higher operations of the intellect. You're now in a cohesive space where you can take control of information process away from the mind and into the hands of the intellect, the higher intellect. And the idea, what we've just practiced, is something that you can do, if you hit a moment in your day-to-day movements and something throws you off guard and you need to centralize back yourself. You can do that exercise over a 3-minute period and just totally regulate yourself back into a position of self-worth and self-power and self-governance, that you're functioning properly or operating properly, symbiotically, from a psychological, physiological and physical, mind, body, spirit aligned. Instead of the body doing one thing, the energy of the body doing something else, and you psychologically trying to protect an ego through mind muscle and intelligence muscle while your nervous system is freaking out and having you doing impulsive things instead of intuitive things. And the impulse of these things can be so strong you can't even fight them, because your nervous system is actually screaming out for them to pacify and release the tension that is in, because you haven't gone in with precision to disintegrate that issue, which starts with aligning with breath. And this is the thing, once you start getting into a structured routine where you're doing things like this, not just as simple as that, but much more deeper, that relates to, again, the structure that I've laid out with the 7 pillars of health, 7 pillars of mind, and 7 pillars of conscious management or spirituality, and how they overlay and create a structure for energy to process and elevate you So the energy doesn't it doesn't mud up your being. It doesn't get suppressed. And in the process of suppressing, it turns out as something ugly. It helps to transform this energy so it can be expressed into something beautiful. This is the idea of bringing structure to the solar plexus. So then when it rises to the heart can now then cohesively bring itself together into a resonance to now manage or handle or deal with the scenario at hand. And it shouldn't always be in crisis. This has also got to do with your momentum, your evolution, your goal setting, your ability to have visions, dreams, so forth. Whether it is to change the dynamics of your setting to change from A and evolve to B. It's all the same thing. So it doesn't necessarily have to apply it to something traumatic. It's also the same principle that applies to growth. Changing your state, your habits, your behavior in accordance to what you don't know to becoming a master of it, it's a fearful path because you don't know what you don't know. And being courageous at the start is the beginning of building the foundation to become fearless. It doesn't start straight away from the beginning. I'm going to be courageous. That means you're not going to reach to the other side. You have to bring in structure to courage, so courage can then lift up its muscle to find the strength to now become fearless and enter into a space of ontology. Now it's willing to express. So this is the pathway. This is the pathway that I'm explaining so you can understand the physical, the physiological, and the psychological. And I think that lines it up beautifully for me to then step into the next space. Now we've had a look at it again from a more structured, biological and not so much esoteric, but energetic point of view. We can now relate to the process in a more formula structured, more science-minded, more, okay, that's what's happening. Okay, so courage comes in when it's all ugly down there, when it's raw and it's bitter. And now I can't throw away that. I have to lift it up. Look at it like this. You've got runners. Now, not to say that we're trying to become runners, but it's a great analogy so you can perceive the process and bring it into alignment with what I call the transcending Olympian. So you have runners at the Olympics, and the runners, they're getting ready to go for, the race of their life. And it's not like the nerves don't show up, the nerves show up. And you can see them at the beginning of the race, they get a whole 2 minutes to shake it out. This surge of energy that is about to come. I remember when I used to perform, and before the performance, I would have to be off stage and I have to do a whole set of exercises, squats, press ups, all kinds of things. Because this energy, this adrenaline, the adrenaline is so high that if I don't regulate it before I go out on stage, it could make me have errors. It could make me this adrenaline surge. So I know that before I go, I got to do exercises. Anyway, coming back to the runners, you see them shaking it off. Anyway, they're going down to start the race. They're down on the race, and all of a sudden they're calm. All the nerves is gone. They've breathed it out, everything. They're so calm, they're like statues now. The stadium is making noises, things going off, but they can't hear nothing. They're just so focused on waiting to hear the gunshot. Most of the times, if we hear gunshot, panic. They're waiting for the gunshot to go. They're waiting for the gunshot to apply the pressure. They've trained up themselves in such a way that gunshot, go. It's not go, it's not gunshot, escape. Gunshot, win. So when we hear gunshot, escape, what we're energetically going through, what we're physiologically going through, the nerve system screaming, what's happening? Versus when the runner is listening to the gunshot, he's waiting to hear the gunshot. He's at calm, he's waiting. And his nose got all the pressure, he's racing next to Usain Bolt. But in his heart, he knows he doesn't care. He's racing to win on his own terms. Don't worry about Usain. I'm here to run the race of my life. And as long as I do the best that I can, which I've been training for, I might just be able to beat him. But regardless of that, listen. Whereas this is the idea of being operational. That line, that person on the, they've gone over courage, the butterflies have gone, they brought it to the heart has now amplified the aptitude to its highest level, intelligence is at its peak, emotions out the window. You can't be thinking, I don't want to run this race now, oh gosh, can we do it later? No, none of that is appropriate. The intelligence is taking grip. You better get all that out. I don't care, mind, shut up. You're gonna follow instructions now. Listen out for the gun. Yeah? The one next to you could be snarling, you think you're gonna win, I'm gonna beat you, don't worry about that. Trying to put you off. No, you're staying locked as a pin. Yeah, you go and run your mouth and waste your energy. So, in this way, the state that you're preparing yourself on a daily basis, if you practice, from your practicing, you're creating a nervous system and an autonomic system that can deal with anything it gets thrown at. And you will constantly be able to manage. You're not going to get the butterflies. You're not going to get the staccatos. You're not going to get the digestive issue where the stomach clamps up and your muscles freezing up. All those symptoms will loosen and disappear, and you'll become a much more smoother, rhythmic person, a much more easier person to deal with all these calamities that go. You'll be able to sail through them rather than squeeze and fight through them. And once you get this rhythm of sailing within your being, now you can start to elevate and fly based on the power of the structure and the knowledge that you're digesting and grooming. So it's very important to understand this at the core, that this is the initial process that you have to digest in your head, that to say that's how you implement willpower and courage. Those are the two stages, changing and transforming energy from the solar plexus that don't feel good and transforming it in heart space, not running from it, not escaping from it, not being anger and bitter about it and trying to find something else to compensate. Oh, I feel good, let me avoid that. That's not courageous. Trying to feel good about something else before you take the issue on, that's not courageous. You're duping yourself. It's when you're reaching the ugliness of the feeling and now you're willing to transform that energy in the moment without anger. Now you're being courageous. Now you're growing. Now you're building proper neurological patterns within the mind and the brain functionality to help you progressively change your behavior pattern and resources towards that situation and outcome. And incrementally, they will change. The old way will drop off, the triggers won't be there, and the stimuli will have no effect on you. So right there is a lot to take in. I'm not going to over process it. I'm going to leave it right there because there's more to get in. So let's not overload this scenario. Just want you to clearly understand that cohesiveness, that alchemy of the solar plexus and the relationship between what you conscientiously have to do to change that epistemological energy to an ontological one. So I'm going to leave it right there. Again, hit the like and subscribe button for future episodes that will be coming up, and also in the description you will find the link to the Making Champions program. You get a free consultation. Let me just turn on some light as the daylight is starting to dim. So I'm going to leave it right there. That gives us a nice, deep, rich understanding of energy transformation within our beings. And again, hit the like and subscribe button for future information and future episodes that are coming up. Also, the Making Champions list is a very powerful portal. Sign up. It's a community initiative support program. It doesn't cost anything. There are loads of resources there. There's the Making Champions manual that breaks down the 7 pillars of health, 7 pillars of mindfulness, the 7 pillars of conscious management or spirituality. There is a free consultation that you're free to take in. The option for that free consultation course call to help you discuss any of the pillars that you are having an issue with understanding, or maybe you need some aid in your life to help bring some structure within the pillars, and I can help point out certain things. And also there's a WhatsApp support group, and also there's a newsletter that covers deeper insights to the pillars as we go along. Those are monthly newsletters, and also insights to events and special masterclasses that run along the series, because there's a lot of information to cover. So I'm going to leave it right there. I want you all to stay on top of grooming your courage, stay in the space of expanding your heart, stay in that powerful space of aptitude, stay on your self-mastery, stay practicing the whole ecology of the system of self-care, self-mastery. Stay position-minded in terms of being intentional. Stay operational, make it all non-negotiable. Stay bold, stay beautiful, and stay on the best side of being you. Ashe.
Vibrational energy. Touch your cold hands. Used to be my daily suit, but now I choose to let kindness take the root. I bless the fear. Thank it for the roads it showed, then shift the gear to a softer, shining road. Stop looking outward, but turn it around. Treasure you need is already found. It's been there waiting just out of you. The choose, not the storm. I am the warmth inside.